If you've been researching for months or even maybe even longer and you still don't feel like you're ready, I want to say something to you that most people in our industry are not going to even mention. You're not overthinking it. That's number one. The amount of thought that you've putting into this, that's not anxiety. It's not weakness. That is wisdom. And that's someone who is lived long enough and knows that every decision that you're going to make is going to kind of ripple forward, just like going down the stream. And but here's what I've noticed after walking alongside people that are in the same similar situation or exactly your position. The thinking isn't the problem. You can think all day long about a house. It's the conversations that are missing. It's not more research. It's not those midnight scrolling sessions on Zillow or Redfin or whatever you use. It's the right conversation, and most people haven't had it yet. And it's not because they haven't tried. It's because nobody's offered it to them. You know, here's what I mean by that. Most conversations about a move go one of two ways. So the first is the data conversation. What's the square footage that you need? What's the school district? What's the median home prices? How many homes have closed in that neighborhood? You know, on and on and on. And that information matters. It does. And I'm not dismissing it. But here's the thing that you can consume data for 2 years and still not have a clue if you belong in the place. And data doesn't tell you how you're going to feel on a Tuesday afternoon once the novelty of the new home has worn off. The second is what I would call a transaction conversation. Like, what's your budget? What's your must-haves? How many bedrooms? You know, it turns your life decision into a checklist. And a checklist is fine if you're buying a dishwasher, but not for a house. You're not buying a house. You're designing the next chapter of your life. And no spreadsheet has ever helped anyone do that. So, I mean, if you've walked away from a conversation with like real estate agents or family members, and you're feeling like something is just not right, something's been left unaddressed, you're right, because it was. And the conversation you actually needed to have hasn't happened yet. So what does that conversation look like? It starts with what you want in a house, but what you want your next chapter of life to feel like. And that is a different question. And it tends to unlock things that all the months of research and everything that you've done never will. It took me 2 years to come to this conclusion, me personally. For some people, you know, they really sit with the question, the answer is, you know, so there's different questions. Like, I want to feel lighter. I want less house. I want less maintenance, less weight. Okay, great. For others, it's, I want to feel connected again, close to people, close to things. You know, maybe you're living out in the country, close to life. For others, it's quieter than that. They want to stop making decisions from a place of fear and start making them from a place of clarity. And a lot of that happens in a relocation situation. But none of these answers are going to show up for you on a property listing or whatever you're looking at. The right conversation also creates space for those fears. Not to dismiss them, but to look at them directly. Because most of the frustration that I see at people at this stage, it's not about the market, it's not about timing, it's not whether the Fed's going to drop interest rates, it's not whether or not the home prices are going to drop. It's about identity and what does it mean about me if I downsize or right size or change areas. It's what if I make this move and it doesn't fix the way that I want to feel. It's what if I leave and I realize that I made a mistake? And those questions, I mean, they deserve a real conversation and not a sales script. And that's what's missing in our industry. So let me give you a few questions. And the ones that I've actually found actually move people kind of forward out of that, I don't want to say lethargy, but where they've stalled out. Okay, first question would be, what are you afraid that you're going to lose with this move? It's not what you'll gain. It's what are you afraid of losing? And the answer almost always reveals where the real hesitation is. It can be the church that you go to. It can be the grocery store. It can be the coffee shop. It can be the park. It could be a number of things. But you got to think about it and have that conversation. The second thing, when in your life right now, do you feel most like where do you feel most like yourself? I guess is the bigger question, because the goal of a move isn't just logistical. You can find the house that you want anywhere in the country. Is it to be closer to the moments that you want to have, as opposed to being further away? Because time is limited and we can't get it back, right? The third thing would be, if fear wasn't part of the equation, if you had no fear at all, if you knew it all would work out, what would you do? And you already know, most people already know, the conversation that helps them, that's the conversation, just helps them hear themselves say it out loud. You don't have to answer it to me. You don't have to answer it to anybody right now, quite frankly. But I would encourage you to possibly get out a piece of paper, write it down, because they tend to cut through the noise in a way that another hour of research, you can have 10 hours of research and it's still not going to nail down what you're looking for. But here's what I've seen happen over and over with someone, when someone finally had that kind of conversation. They don't necessarily make a decision that day. That's not the point. What shifts is that internal noise, and the second guessing that you have quiets down, and because you're getting more clarity. But because all these questions, it's that crazy internal noise, and it's not because all your questions are being answered. It's because they feel heard for the first time in this whole process, and they feel like they're thinking clearly. And again, instead of just spinning around, just trying to find something. And from that place of clarity, that's where the real decisions tend to get made that I see. And they're not rushed decisions, not fear-driven decisions, but the kind of decisions that you can really trust that you've made and given some real thought to. And that's what the right conversation does. It doesn't push you toward anything. It's not a sales call. It's not trying to get you into a house. It helps you figure out what you already know. I hope that this has helped you out. If there's any questions that you have, I'd love to answer them. Let me know. Keep watching. I've got more to come, and I'll be talking to you next time.